Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws. Out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20. Breaks free of the 25 to the 30. To the outside. 40. Midfield. 40. 30 in the coast. 20. 15. Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this House Music Monday edition. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Listen, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. Just like that. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page. Go to Shawn and Maya in the morning. Go to that page as well. Like that page. And not only are you following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll be following Shawn and Maya in the morning as well. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, listen, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago. You know, my hat's all crazy. Type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button. Okay? Click the subscribe button. And also click the little bell. That's the notification button. What that means, what that'll do, ooh, my tea's nice and hot. What that'll do, that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. If you're watching us on our mobile app, yay. Wait, please don't even tell me you didn't know we had a mobile app. Come on now, listen. We have a mobile app. So wherever you get your apps from, it doesn't matter. iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Venture, Woolworth. Wherever you get your apps from. You go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it, you take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew. And I mean a slew of articles. Thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago did. Now, if you're watching this on our Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby, because we have our own Roku channel, in case you didn't know. Yes, sir, Bob. Listen, we have our own Roku channel, so do us a favor. If you have a Roku TV in the house, or if you have a couple of them in the house, do us a favor and download the Sports Zone Chicago's tile to all of those TVs. I know it might even be in the kids' room where you're not going to watch it because it's all for their cartoons and whatever kid stuff is on now. I get it. But just do us a favor, download it. That would be appreciated. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, you can also tweet the show. You can do this at Sports Zone Shy, that's CHI, at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me personally online, you want to know what I did? Well, let me tell you what I did. You want to know what I did? Well, here's what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, The Snapper, and TikTok. All one handle at The Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my other co-host, Maya Akai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at The Sports Chica. And if you want to follow her on Instagram, because you're an IGer and you do it just for the gram, well, just follow her at Maya_Akai. It's MAYA_AKAI. Man, we have a phenomenal show, but we need you to get interactive with us today. So whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whether it's our mobile app, can't really do it on Roku. but that's okay. If you're on any of the other 3 platforms, do us a favor, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread, and guess what? We'll get it up here on the screen, and we'll talk about it. We'll incorporate it into the show, and that, my friend, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. Is you. It's your questions, comments, smart-ass remarks. Bring them, baby, because ain't nobody scared over here. And like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Bring it. Let's check out the chat line. All right, let's see what, man, it's already. That's what I'm talking about. Cornelius Squalls in the Mickey, Vicky house. What up, Papa? Good morning, Junior. Victory. Oh, never mind. Oh, man, Junior, good morning, Papa. That's my dude, Armando Emeterio. Lara Junior, that's him. Oh, yeah, Levette Lee, she's in the Mickey Vicky house. Good morning, Levette. How are you? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Oh, my man's in there. My Shawn Walls. What up? It is a House Music Monday. It sucks from yesterday. Yeah, I know. It's oof. Man. It hurts. It hurts. Levette Lee, she's in the Mickey Ficky house. Look at this. Whoa, look at, I want your hat. You want my hat? What? We're working on getting a swag shop up and running. We're working on getting a swag shop. But she can be like a girl, like, no, I want it for free. I want it for free. You know how girls do, you know how women are. I want it for free. You should just give it to me. Oh, Levette, I'm just busting your chops. Yeah. She's like, yep. She said, I want your hat. She didn't say I want to buy your hat. She said, I want your hat. Oh, that's awesome. That's great stuff. I love it. Oh, man. Listen, we have a phenomenal show. All right. 10 o'clock, Eric Kramer, former Chicago Bears quarterback, is going to join us on his weekly segment. He's with us every week. Yeah. I am anxious to see what he has to say. There's so many people with so many things to say. Some you listen to, some you don't. And it's easy. But I like to listen to people who played the game. I give my own assessment because I did play the game. But I also like to hear other people who've played the game think. I don't want to hear other people who haven't played the game and they're spouting off stuff that they hear from other people. No. I just don't. So that was Eric. He's ready. He's ready to roll at 10 o'clock. So I want to hear what Eric has to say. Played the same position, franchise. I'm going to give you my take on it. I'm going to give you, I was prepping. All right. My thoughts on this situation. And here's the issue. Well, you know what? We'll get into that. I have plenty of time to get into that. All right. Plenty of time to get into that. But Eric Kramer, 10 o'clock. Make sure you call your mom, your dad, your friends, your brothers, your sisters, your aunties, your uncles. Let them know the man, Eric Kramer, 10 o'clock here on Sports Zone Chicago. It's going to be interesting because Eric's not going to hold back, which I love, which is what I want. All right. There's plenty of blame to go around. And this is a perfect storm of bad right now for the Bears. Perfect storm. who's that guy? Vindel, the third string nickel or the backup safety was Vindel. Who was that dude? Yeah, we'll figure it out. It was so crazy because we're looking at, yeah, here it is. We're looking at different things. Pressure the quarterback. Let's do this. Let's do that. And then we just can't do it because Quindell Johnson. That's it. We got third stringers in there because of all the injuries. So we'll dive into those. And, you know, I'm listening to sports talk radio this morning. And, of course, you get the jamokes. You get the meatheads and guys who don't know what the hell they're talking about. And the common theme was people are done with Justin and bring in Tyson Bagent. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. If they are not properly developing Justin, what makes you think they're going to properly develop Tyson Bagent? You know, what makes you think that? You know, it's one thing to draft a player who's extremely talented, but it's another thing to develop them. Do they have the right pieces in place? Do they have the right developmental coaches in place? Because right now it doesn't seem like they do. You know, just because Bear fans say something in mass doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean that's what should happen. Weren't Bears fans yelling at Nate Davis saying, cut him? Cut him. He got nothing. He missed time. And then you find out he's got a family member who's ill and who eventually allegedly passed away. So just because a lot of people say it doesn't mean it's true. Just because a lot of people jump on the same sentiment doesn't mean it's the right one. So everybody who's talking about, oh, well, let's get Tyson Bagent in there. He looked better in the preseason, blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, he looked better against guys who are not in the league. He looked better than Justin Fields because these players are not playing on Sunday. First of all, it's vanilla looks. Secondly, these guys are looking for work, trying to catch on for a team. Very few of the people that he faced have a contract. So when you're sitting there, and I understand he took control of the offense and blah, 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 and that's great. But do you trust this developmental squad, a team that we have? I don't. Not yet. But I digress. We have a lot of football to talk. We also have baseball to talk. We also have basketball to talk with WNBA. Looks like it's over. Yes. WNBA talk. Got a lot of talk coming up. So, guys, you know how we do. The first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
She won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
The first top of the morning topic, where else do we go? The Bears. Bears fall to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 27-17 down in a hot and humid Tampa, Florida. Justin Fields, he was 16 of 29 for 211 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks for a 61.1 rating. He also had 4 carries for 3 yards and a touchdown. DJ Moore had a nice little game for himself, 6 catches, 104 yards. Chase Claypool, after a week of him being on the hot seat and under scrutiny by the media and fans, He has 3 receptions for 36 yards. I can't believe I didn't do that. And a touchdown. I can't believe I didn't do that. So you definitely want to show that. DJ Moore with his touchdown. I mean, Chase Claypool with his touchdown. You know, he took a lot of heat. He took a lot of heat, and he should have. Took a lot of heat for last week. His poor performance. They talked about it on the show. He apologized to his team for his lack of effort, and he was out there blocking. And unfortunately, it got him in trouble one time. It was a penalty. He was blocking before the pass was thrown, blocking downfield before the pass was thrown. But all in all, I'll take that. I need more yards, I need more catches from you. But not bad. You know, Khalil Herbert, he had 7 carries for 35 yards, a 5.0 average. Roshan Johnson, 4 carries for 32 yards for an 8-yard average. So there's a lot of blame to go around. There's a lot of blame to go around. You know, there is a couple of memes where, and I said it, if you follow me on Facebook, I posted it yesterday. I'm like, stop with these stupid effing screens. Like you're John Shoup 2.0. You know, remember John Shoup used to throw the bubble screens all the time. Like, this is ridiculous. And to throw a bubble screen down there when you're in your end zone, to me, didn't make sense. And for all you people who don't understand what happened, okay, they're talking about, oh, he read it, he did this, he did that. Well, kind of, sort of, but it was schematically, it was a perfect call for that particular play. It was a TE stunt, tackle, and then end. The tackle went outside, and the end looped back around. So when the end looped back around, he saw the offensive lineman had released their blocks, the guard and the center, and he said, oh, here comes one of their screens. How does he know that? Because he's only seen it. They only threw it like 8 times yesterday. So he sees that. He's able to back up, one-hand it, put the game out, ice the game, put the game out of reach. Horrible call for that. You know, there are a lot of things that I want to get off my chest regarding this offensive coordinator. Here's the good thing or the bad thing. You know, there's an old saying, watch what you ask for, you just might get it. And, you know, how many people were, myself included, we're talking like, hey, if this guy does a good number, does a good job with Justin Fields, develops Justin Fields, gets him throwing, 32, 35, 3,700 yards, he might leave. And like, oh, okay, well, don't worry, because we do have the backup, the quarterback coach, Janoko, would stay with the same system, and there'd be a sense of familiarity. And people are like, man, I really hope Luke Getsy doesn't go. Well, right now, I don't think there are going to be very many teams looking to hire his services for their offensive coordinator. I don't. Or head coach. He's not going to be getting a lot of head coaching offers with this type of performance from Justin Fields. So all the fans like, oh man, I hope he stays, hope he can keep him. You're keeping him unless he gets fired. Unless Matt Eberflus has enough. But see, then here's the issue. Then these guys got to learn another offensive system. Now we're going down the Cutler route. 6 offensive coordinators in 8 years. Is that what you want? Is that what you need? Is that what's going to get this franchise back to the playoffs? Switching coordinators I don't think so. But moving on. The next top of the morning topic, of course, the good guys. My White Sox lose to the Minnesota Twins, 4-0. Dylan Cease is having just a horrendous year after finishing a runner-up in the Cy Young voting for 2020. It's 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, and 5 punch-outs. Andrew Benintendi, 2 for 4 on the season with his 33rd double of the year. And Trace Thompson was 2 for 3. You know, the crazy part about this is that my White Sox are now 36 games under 500. 36 games under 500. 36 games under 500. Wow. Wow. Next top of the morning topic, the Cubs. The Cubs fall to the Diamondbacks 6-2 yesterday. Wicks was on the bump. He got the start. He got the loss. He's 3-1 of the season. He went 4 1/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, 5 punch-outs. Ian Happ was 3 for 4, hitting his 32nd double of the year. And Ryan Tauchman was 1 for 3, driving in the getting the only RBI for the Cubs. That's his 46th on the season. The Cubs have hit a really tough stretch. Wrong time to be hitting your stretch. Wrong time to be hitting this type of stress. The Cubs have now lost 5 in a row and are half game out of the last wild card spot. To Arizona. Yep, half came out. They got swept over the weekend. They lost the last 2 games of the prior series. What? They're going to be on the outside looking in. It's literally that simple. There's 12 games left, I think that I want to say 13 games left. No, I think it's all 3-game sets. So 12, maybe 15. Can they do it? Can they get back to having a lead, at least in a second wild card spot? Because once you get in, you're in. Once you get in, you're in, but you're not in anymore. You had a comfortable lead. You had a 2.5-game lead over the weekend. They get swept. And the team that swept them leapfrogged them in the standings, in the playoff positioning, playoff seeding. They're up 2.5. Now they're down 0.5. And the Arizona Diamondbacks hold that last playoff spot. Crazy, isn't it? Crazy how just the schedule worked when the team that you're facing is a team that you're competing with for playoff standings, postseason standings. 5 in a row. That's tough. Well, the next top of the morning topic is the sky. Whoa, Lord have mercy. Listen, the Sky gets swept by the Aces. Remember, I was hoping, is there a way? I told you I didn't see it, but there had to be a way for the Sky to win one and get the deciding game in Chicago. Well, the Sky couldn't do it. They get swept by the Aces after 92-70 loss on Sunday. Kalia Copper, 25 points, 10 rebounds, and Dana Evans had 22 points, and Marina Mabry, she ended up with 12 points on the evening. Great season getting into the playoffs with the mass exodus of players that have left the Chicago Sky team. Their head coach bailed on them. I still think it's a cowardly move. Still bailed on them. So in the middle of the season, not before the season, not the night before, in the middle of the season, he leaves. So you talk about sudden change and you have to make adjustments to make. I think they did a good job, and I'm glad that they were able to make it into the playoffs. I get it. It's 2 and out for them. But a lot of this experience is very valuable to some of the newer players. Some may not need it. Some, but nonetheless, I digress. I digress. It's tough. It's tough. None of us gave the Chicago Sky a chance. Las Vegas is one of the super teams. It's Las Vegas and the New York Liberty. They're the two super teams that they want to be in the WNBA finals. And I get it. Exposure. And you start seeing good teams, you're going to watch more. You're going to look for a WNBA team close to your hometown to root for. I get it. I understand all that. But allowing these super teams to exist in the WNBA might not be good for the league overall. It might spawn some interest, but I don't see it happening. I don't. Listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to have some baseball talk. Because don't forget, at the top of the hour, we got our guy Eric Kramer coming back, talking to us about what he saw, what he liked, which is probably very little, and what he didn't like, which is probably very a lot. Very mucho. So we got some baseball talk right here on the other side of the break. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Brian Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face. Ugly.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left, and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down, because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
Left fielder Ian Happ.
And this ball is driven deep to center field. That one's going to get down and go to the wall. Happ will not walk. He will cruise into second with a lead-off double.
Drive in the first run.
Talkman back up the middle, and Carroll in front of him. He'll come up, throw it. Here comes Dansby.
Excellent base running by Dansby Swanson. Run scoring single, Mike Talkman.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of the four-letter network ESPN, as you saw on the screen. Cubs, what a tough one yesterday. Yes, Junior, you put it succinctly. I talked about it earlier today. All Chicago teams lost yesterday. It was a bad day. It was 0 for 4. You talk about drawing the collar. Chicago teams drew the collar yesterday. 0 for 4. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough. And it hurt. All right. You know the old saying, baseball divides us, football unites us. Well, man, both baseball teams lost. We were hurting. The Bears lost. We were hurting. The Sky lost. It was just a rough day for Chicago sports fans. All I got to say is, thank God the sun came up this morning. Because it was touch and go for a while. I was like, man, I don't know how many people are going to be fired up. They're going to be fired up. They're fired up yesterday after the game. Luckily for the Bears, it was the first game. So if you imagine you had to wait like last week. All right, we had to wait till 3:25 for that game, and then we came out with that type of effort. Yeah, that was. But anyway, I digress. Let's talk a little baseball. The Cubs have really done a number for themselves. The Cubs have lost 5 in a row. They are 1/2 game out of the last playoff spot, last wild card spot, I should say. 5 in a row. You cannot have. You cannot have brain farts like this. You can't have a stretch like this. Not when you're in the hunt. Not when you're in the wild card race. You've lost 5 in a row. 5 in a row. It's unacceptable. You just can't do that. And if the Cubs don't make the playoffs, it's all by their own doing. All by their own doing. The Cubs are off today. They host Pittsburgh Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Host Colorado Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This Diamondback team was good. This Diamondback team is pretty good. They are not a walk in the park. All right, they're 79 and 72. They were 76 and 72 when they came in. So they're an above 500 team, just like the Cubs. However, they came and they wanted it more. I don't know what else to say about. I shouldn't say they came. Because it was in Phoenix. But they came into the series and wanted it more. Nothing more, nothing less. How you not get up, how you're not fired up, how you're not ready for this big series with a team that just beat you. They just handed it to you a week or two ago. Here's your chance for payback in their stadium, in their backyard. And you blew it. I don't know if this team's going to make the playoffs now. And if they do, how psychologically damaged will they be? If they do, will they limp into the playoffs? Will they back into the playoffs? Well, actually, I don't think they're going to back in because they're playing Milwaukee. the last 3 games of the season. So they're gonna have to win. I mean, I guess they get back in. So that's for the division. So the hopes and dreams of the division are pretty much gone. Pretty much gone. You're 6.5 games back now. Yeah, that's a lot of ground you have to cover in not a lot of games. And that is assuming that Milwaukee helps you out by losing. Milwaukee is playing good baseball right now. Okay, they lost yesterday, and that stinks because now you had a chance to gain a game. But they're 7-3 in their last 10 games. 7-3. 7-3. Cubs, on the other hand, in their last 10 games, Cubs are 2-8. In there is a 5-game losing streak. I really don't know. It's tough. I feel you, Cub fans, because most of you are Bear fans, and you have expectations. You have a standard that they've set. And when they go against the standard or they don't live up to the standard, then it's frustrating. When they're not doing the fundamental thing, it gets frustrating. I know as a Bear fan. And many of you are Bears fans as well. So it is not over by any stretch. You're only a half a game behind Arizona for the last wild card spot. Okay. Now you got to go to work. You made it a lot more difficult for yourself, but it's not impossible. It is something that can easily be accomplished. I shouldn't say easily. Something that can be accomplished. But you're going to need help. And this is all your fault about needing help, because you had plenty of games where you should have taken advantage of. With the White Sox, you split the series on the south side. Detroit, you lost 1 or 2 games with them. Okay, there were teams that you should have beaten. The Rockies gave you some fits. These are teams that you have to just blow out. And if it comes down to a game or you lose it by a game or 2, those are the games you're going to point to. Those are the games you're going to look at and say, here's where we messed up. Here's where we could have had a stranglehold on our playoff positioning. If you don't make the playoffs, I will not be surprised. You're just not playing good baseball right now. Your offense continues to Kyle Hendricks had not a quality start, I think it was. Yeah, 6 innings. Let me see. Not Kyle Hendricks. It was Wicks yesterday. But Kyle Hendricks earlier this week had a quality start. 6 innings, 3 runs. You lost that game as well. The Diamondbacks look like a team that is fighting for a spot. The Diamondbacks are a team that has taken the sense of urgency that they had, and they're living by it. They're living by it. We've all played teams that, and I'm not saying that the Serpientes or the D-backs are worse than the Cubs or better than the Cubs. No. All I'm saying is we've all played teams where they believe. They believe, whether they're not talented enough, but their belief in themselves propels them to victory. But they're focused, unlike this team. The D-backs, you're right, Cornelius. The D-backs, The speed killed the Cubs. And this is why I don't understand why so many other teams don't utilize their speed. You know, you get on the base paths, and then you start looking at metrics. Well, 39% of the time, this and this, and 80% it's a probability. However, if the throw is perfect, then the probability goes up. Look, you got guys who can run. Get them out there and run. Put pressure on the defense. Put pressure on the defense, because one bad throw on a steal from second, that runner's at third. And now the infield has to come in. Now you have the opportunity to pitch pass ball. Now a sac fly to the outfield most likely gets you in. People don't use what's there for them. And the sooner teams start, and I don't want to say abandoning the metrics, but as soon as they start playing aggressive baseball, by certain teams who made that decision, we're going to play aggressive baseball. We're going to force you into throws. We will not cause you to throw at certain times. It's about being aggressive. And right now the Cubs are on their heels. 5 in a row is their losing streak, and they have to stop it tomorrow. Got to stop it tomorrow. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts. You go to 6 games, Milwaukee wins again. That's 7.5 games. 7.5 games behind Milwaukee for the division lead. And I'll tell you what, that final 3 games of the season, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. Not going to matter. And then you'll be home with us. You'll be like, man, we were almost at the playoffs. That's going to be your shit talk to us. We almost made the playoffs. You got eliminated whenever. On the South side, I just want this shit to get over. I just want it over. And more games. I think I got to go to 30th for Hispanic Heritage Night. They got the little Sugar Skull bobblehead. It's a lady dressed in authentic Mexican attire with the Dia de los Muertos face painted on her. So that's what's there. But other than that, I got no reason to go. I'm not going. And you know what? I love the fact that the stadium looks empty. The stadium is so freaking empty. If you've never gone to a Sox game and you want to go, now is the perfect time. Now is the perfect time to go to a Sox game. Tickets are super cheap on the secondary. Let's see what they are on the secondary market. Secondary market. Here we go. Because the cheapest tickets, $1. $1. Cheapest ticket to the White Sox game. Shuts the front door. For tonight's game in the 500 level, $1. And it's marked down from $2. Oh man, they have a slew of $1. There we go. $2 tickets, $3 tickets, $4, $5, $5, $5. So if you ever want to go to a Sox game, now's the time to go. Now, don't mind you. If you're driving, they're gonna hit you for $30 in the parking lot. You want to park over by Archer and Ashland? I'm sorry, by 35th and Ashland, and hop the bus. That works too. But this is embarrassing. Straight up, no frills, unadulterated embarrassment by me. So I didn't wear anything White Sox today. I was going to wear the hat today, and I was like, no, let's wear the Bears. No, I don't want to wear the Bears because they piss me off. I got to wear a house music shirt. Oh, okay. I got. But this team is so dysfunctional. Where do you start? Where? That we haven't discussed already. You know, it's just unfortunate that we're going through this again. We have one of the most talented teams on paper, one of the most talented teams in Major League Baseball, and this is what happens. This is what happens when you don't have good leadership. We've talked about it before. We're starting to see with the Bears now. I liked what Eberflus was doing up to that point. This, I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I like Pedro Grifol. I don't. The lackadaisical attitude with people sleeping in the bullpen, people not running out to first, just a whole bunch of nonsense. Stuff that you deal with in high school. If that, probably Little League. Babe Ruth is when you have all the jealousy and all the fighting and bickering. Grown ass men. Come on, man. Do they want to be here? Because I can tell you, I truly believe that most of these guys on the South Side are checked out. Most of them are checked out. Like, man, how many more games we got? When can I get back to South Florida or Arizona or California or the Caribbean for a trip? When can we do all that again? Oh, we got 12 games left. Great. Thanks. I'm trying to remember how I felt the 1 year. Man, I think I've been in the playoffs. I digress. Who's going to step up? Who's the leader? Does anyone want to step up for this group of guys? Or are you just saying, you know what, most of you guys are going to be gone next year anyway? Why give a speech? Why rally the troops? Why not say, hey, let's win every God-blessed ball game we can? Because we have the ability to play baseball. We have this talent. We have this ability. We've been blessed. And you want to half-ass it because the season's going bad? Ask the guy who's a lifelong minor leaguer about finding motivation. Ask those guys. See, people forget. People forget, and people get on their soapbox or their little arrogant ways and entitled ways. You have to respect the game. You got to want to be there. You got to want to give your best effort. I don't know if they want to be there. I damn sure trust my feeling that they don't want to give their best effort. Just, we got 12 games left. Okay. Maybe all right. Really? Really? You know, we were seeing some good things. We saw decent defense. We saw Yo-Yo coming out. We saw Tim Anderson hitting, Eloy hitting, Andrew Vaughn driving in runs. But I don't know if they want to be here. That's my issue. Do they want to be here? Because you got to find guys that want to be here. You got to find guys who will take it to the max for you. Shawn, the Sox team is on its way to lose 100. You're darn right they are. You're darn right they are. And it's an embarrassment with the stacked roster that they have, with the talent on that roster, from Lubob to TA to Eloy to Yo-Yo to Vaughn. Come on, man. Give us a break. Give us a break. So baseball on the South Side for the last 12 games-ish is going to be, this is like pulling teeth. This is like pulling teeth. Let's see, where are we at? 120, 130. What? Hold on. I messed up. Here we go. Now I was looking at something else. 140, 150. 12 games left. And it's all over. 4 3-game series left. Can you do something to show us you care? Could you do something to make some people stop talking crazy about you? Can you do something? Or is it too far gone with these people, with this team? You're too far gone. Because the things that I see are things that I don't like. Pedro Grifol should be fired next year. He won't be. He already gets his confidence. So what do you do? Do we still set up the Sports Zone Chicago opening series strike? I guess it's not a strike. Boycott, that's what it was. The boycott, I'm down for it. I told you, I'd even go party and kick it in the parking lot before opening day and then just not go in the stadium. I would be more than happy with that. I'd be cool with that. But a boycott, we've talked about it, we've mentioned it, that needs to be on the table, especially after you cancel Sox Fest last year and probably this year again, I should say in 23 and then again in 24. Because you don't want to deal with the heat that the Chicago fans are going to be asking. What kind of coward are you? So I personally, like many Sox fans, I can't wait for the season to be over. I can't. I don't know what for, because the Bears are sucking right now, but that's a different story. That's a different story. So, spend quality time with your loved one. Go to a Sox game. Go to a Sox game. You'll be good. You know, you get some cool points. You're out and about. You're one of the scenes. At the scene, I know there's going to be a lot of people. There's not going to be a lot of people there, but nonetheless, your girl gets to get out. Go to Sox games if you have never been, or you've only been once, or you wanted to go and didn't get a chance. Man, tickets are $1. A freaking $1. Wow. Let's see what we got on the text line. We'll start off with man Cornelius. The Bears' offensive line is not the problem. Every sack in the first half was Justin's fault. And second, it was divided between the O-line, Getsy, and Justin. I don't know if I believe that. Luis Mejia in the house. Good morning, Papa. How you doing? You'll hear me talk about it. I might as well do that and take us into Eric. I got a lot of problems with you people. All my Seinfeld friends know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, Coach Eberflus, I'll start with you. I'm not liking how everything's up. Everything's too coach speaky for me. Too much coach talk for me. For him, I want him to come out, and this is one of the reasons that I know I feel he's not the dude. What if he came out in a press conference and said, you know what? I didn't prepare my team very well. I didn't. They came out here, they got their ass kicked. But I will tell you this, it's not going to happen again. We might not win games, but we're going to compete. This is what Eberflus needs to come out and say. We're going to compete. My apologies to the fans, the fan-based organization. I did not get them ready as a head coach. That's taking accountability for yourself. It's building loyalty to your team. Fall on the sword if you have to. But now, psychologically, here they're at their most vulnerable. Show them you have your back. You know, come out. Like I said, come to the presser, start off with something like, tough one. We got to do better. And this effort that you saw this week will not happen again. Let us know that you see it. Let us know that you care. Let us know. Getsy, why aren't we running right zone anymore? You talk about zone stretch, the zone blocking scheme, blah, 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 the wide zone scheme. Why haven't we run that play in ages? Everything's downhill. Can you please, on God's green earth, stop throwing those stupid fucking screens? Please stop throwing those damn things. You know the one that got caught in the end zone? Beautiful play. Perfect storm of bad. The Bears were snake bitten. When Jaquan Brisker dropped that ball, second play, third play of the game, would have been a pick six. You're on the board. This game goes completely different. Completely different. There's far too many mistakes out there from people. You cannot drop the ball, Jaquan. You cannot. Imagine you catch it, take it to the house, go back out, 3 and out. Come Bears offense, come out, drive the ball. You're up 14-0. When opportunities present themselves, you must be ready. You must. I'm getting fired up over here. We're getting real fired up. So we're going to take a quick break. And on the other side of the break, we're going to welcome our guy, Eric Kramer. Believe me, I got a lot more stuff. I got a lot more stuff that I'm going to be discussing or asking Eric. So listen, don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
To run for 17, back he goes. Here comes Chubb. There goes the ball. Touchdown! Mooney! Jones will walk at the left tackle. Time for Fields. Now he'll accelerate to get the first down. Great tackles, and he's off to the races. And we got a terrific block.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. Learning to dig deep and push through adversity together. Defending our nation and its people. It is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis, always faithful, always Marine, marking a path for the next generation.
So I've come up with the family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie. Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
This year, my mom got me the perfect bag for back to school.
These colorful binders help me stay organized.
These headphones are just what I need for studying.
These new sneakers are just what I need for the new year.
This jacket is a real must-have.
My parents got me the skateboard I wanted. It's pretty cool.
These scissors really come in handy in art class. These colored pencils, too. These new socks? They can be a real lifesaver.
I finally got my own phone to stay in touch with my mom.
Play action on the first play. Fields well protected and a strike for DJ Moore. They don't waste any time today. Moore's got a big game. Pressure coming. Fields beats it to the sideline. DJ Moore down the sideline. First and goal. A bootleg. Fields looking for the corner. He's got it. And the Bears have an opening drive touchdown. Dolphin had a chip shot on the first drive from 40 yards here. It's blocked. Special teams play for the Bears. All the way back to midfield.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning. You see my face is all on the screen. I'm all fired up just watching that. I'm like, oh, dude, tell me you weren't fired up. Tell me you weren't fired up when that shit happened. You blocked the field, your opening drive. When the hell has that happened for us? We go down, literally like a hot knife through butter. Hot knife through butter. We drive. Oh, here's a crazy idea. Let's hit probably one of the most exciting, electrifying wide receivers in the NFL today. Let's hit him a couple times. That's a good idea. I'm glad I thought of it. I was on cloud nine. I'm like, good, keep this up. They made adjustments. Let's get to work. Man. My next guest is no stranger to electrifying moments at Soldier Field. Former Bears quarterback. It's Monday, 10 o'clock. So you know what time it is. EK Pass. My man, Eric Kramer.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing. So
Rick, what's up, buddy? How are you?
First of all, let me just say I feel your pain, and here's where I think things went wrong. You go down to Tampa, what was previously the home of the creamsicle uniforms,
which I liked.
Do you then put on your own pumpkin-colored uniforms? From that decision on, it went bad. But like you said, the first quarter gave a little hope, misguided, obviously, though it was. And then things went south beginning in the second quarter. But once again, I think Bear fans everywhere, like me, wake up today severely questioning what the heck was I thinking to be positive about this upcoming season.
Unfortunately, Eric, I agree with you. And here's the thing. I don't think that they're very far off. I think that it's a couple of tweaks here and there. My biggest thing, and I was ready. I was ready. Look at had all these things. That's for Getsy. These are for Fields to talk about. I'm like, let's start with Getsy. We'll get to Fields, but let's start with Getsy. What the fuck are you doing with the screen in the shadow of your end zone? Why are you not moving the pocket? Why are you not having quarterback runs? Why? All these things. Why didn't you just duplicate the first series like the rest of the game? There's so many questions that I have for this guy, and it's not. Why are you not running the outside zone, a wide zone? Are we running a wide zone scheme? I haven't seen a wide outside zone run in this season. So all these things are hindering Justin Fields. And let me ask you this question. Are they coaching the Justin Fields out of Justin Fields?
Okay.
Because he doesn't look like he wants to run, and it looks very similar to Mitch Trubisky in 2019. After, like, you got to win from the pocket. 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 Because there were plenty of times he could have taken off, and he didn't.
You introduced a lot there with one question.
Sorry. Question 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E, 1F, 1G, 1F.
You went to a good part of the alphabet there. Let's get back to where you started with Luke Getsy. So let's do this. I don't want to venture off too far, but if you got, it's kind of the marriage right now, right, between Luke Getsy and Justin Fields. By comparison, let's take Mike McDaniel and Tua. So there's a combination there where you can see Tua, who was only drafted 1 year earlier, the process by which his feet and eyes work together is boom, 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 ball's gone. And the crafting of the plays themselves and the play calling looks professional, does it not?
Oh, yeah.
And the execution of it looks professional. So conversely, you've got, to me, Justin Fields. Here's how I would draw a comparison to Justin Fields. My first year out of college, I was an undrafted free agent with the New Orleans Saints. Here's the combination. I didn't know the offense. They had a horrible quarterback coach / offensive coordinator named Carl Smith, who at one time had coached at NC State. Our meeting room would go like this. We introduced nothing about the playbook. The projector would roll and nothing would be said. So I didn't know how to read coverages.
So you just watch film, like sit down and watch this is what you did.
In silence. So there was no, like, hey, this is how coverages work. There was no, this is what our offense is going to do to take advantage of these coverages. There was none of that. So my ability to process information in a practice was non-existent. That's what Justin Fields looks like to me today. There's no way Justin Fields could explain to a high school kid or to anybody how coverages work. No way. So then you've got an offensive coordinator in Luke Getsy, who, I agree with you, who's calling screenplays on your own 4-yard line in the middle of the field when all you really have to do is go the distance and you win the game if you score a touchdown. And so, but when you watch Justin over 2 games and go all the way back to the beginning of last year, he looks exactly the same today as he did 365 days ago. So, and you've got an offensive coordinator that's not Mike McDaniel. I go, what are you doing on some of these plays? Not all, but some. And you've got, so on one end of the spectrum, that's what you've got in Chicago. And on the other end of the spectrum, you've got a 2-0 team in Miami who looks like they could beat anybody right now.
They do. Miami looks really good. I hope Jason watching. We host What's Up Cuz tonight at 6:00 because he's defected, so the Bears are good. He's a Miami Dolphin fan, so the University of Miami Dolphin fan. He's all South Florida right now, so he was texting us last night, talking a whole bunch of trash. And Jason Palmer, one of the hosts of the one of our podcasts later tonight. Okay. But let me ask you get back to this question. Are they coaching the Justin Fields out of Justin Fields? Because he's one of the most electric things running quarterbacks that you have. And I don't see any design run plays. I see him, having him stay in the pocket. I don't see 1 read, 2 read, maybe 3 read, and then go.
Let me get right to it. Do you see Justin Fields, who's a great athlete, doing anything remotely close to what Lamar Jackson is doing? The answer is real quick. No. So you don't see him reading coverages, which is where it begins. You don't see him being on time and accurate with the ball, which is an offshoot of number 1. And so Todd Monken has come in and revamped an already successful offense to an even better one. He hasn't even been there a year yet. So Luke Getsy's been here 3 years, right?
No,
2 years.
Two. Well, right. 1+, yeah.
So I don't see, there's a combination that you're asking about. Are they coaching Justin Fields out of being what we know Justin Fields to be? Nope. The way to do it is to have Justin Fields. Luke Getsy's not even the quarterback coach.
Right. Andrew Janocko is.
Who's he? So, he should be having dinner every night with Justin Fields, and Justin Fields should be explaining to him, how coverages work and how this play takes advantage of this coverage. Do you see any of that going on in the game? Because I don't.
No.
I see Justin Fields wandering around like this. I drop back with he looks like
no sense of urgency.
He looks like he's playing quarterback at the family Thanksgiving touch football game.
Yes.
There's no sense of urgency to what he's doing. He looks around the field like this. Over here, let's see. No. Over here, no. Oh, there. That's where I'll go. Well, guess who's looking at you doing that? The entire defense. So he's not playing ahead of anybody. When I was playing, the standard was Steve Young. Steve Young, I would watch video of him running our passing game. And if it was a 3-step drop, the ball is gone in 1.8 seconds. If it was a 5 quick with no hitch, that's gone in under 2 or around 2 seconds. If it's 2 with the hitch, it's around 2.3, 2.4. That's if it's to your first read. Do you think Justin Fields is studying anybody? Answer, no. He doesn't look like the way he's playing doesn't look like he's doing that. And you talk for all the athleticism he has, super. Steve Young had incredible athleticism. So did Joe Montana. So does you name a guy now. Patrick Mahomes. So does Lamar Jackson. A lot of guys have it. But a lot of guys connect the dots when it comes to operating inside the pocket in a certain rhythm and timing that goes with playing, which Justin Fields right now does not possess.
So then where does Getsy fall in this? Because my thing is this, why aren't you throwing slants? Because as a quarterback, you understand the earlier you get on, hitches, slants, curl routes, you get on, you start feeling yourself. You have a lot more confidence. I don't see those short, quick throws. I don't see 1, 2, 3 throw, 1, 2, 3 throw. I don't see those short routes to get him involved, to get Chase Claypool involved so he doesn't go off and be a diva. Mm-hmm. I don't see DJ Moore involved. No, he did get involved earlier, so I take that back. But I don't see Mooney involved. Yeah, I get these guys involved. So first, I'd love to see him hit 4 receivers on the first drive. All right, but they're not doing that. They're not setting him up for success without these throws. And then we talked about it last week when I asked you the question, what about his drop back? He's going back very casually. That's on Getsy. That's on Getsy saying you cannot do this. You do this again, we're having a problem. And he continues to do this. So that's not being addressed. If you what's the old saying? If you don't say anything, you allow it. I can't think of it. If you accept it, means you allow it to happen.
I get what you're saying. He's not doing his job,
right?
Meaning Getsy as sort of the offensive manager, right? Like you've got to set people up to be successful, which means they have to look at you and go, he's holding us to this standard, which I don't see happening, to be honest with you. And so if he's not inspiring, like I think I would love to play for a guy like Mike McDaniel, who we talked about earlier, because kind of like with, going back to Bill Walsh, like he literally knew what defense you were going to be playing in what area of the field based on what formation and personnel they had in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So plays were not drawn up in the dirt. Like, going in, this is what we're going to run in this time on this area of the field on this down and distance. That's Mike McDaniel. That's not Luke Getsy. Part of the problem is Luke Getsy has got a quarterback that can't execute what you call in the way you want to call it. You know what I mean? Like they've pointed, like you can see this. You can see how he doesn't process things that are down the field. I don't care if it's 3-step, 5. I don't care what the drop is. He can't read a defense. So if you can't read a defense, you got to know, like the play before the ball's ever snapped, 90% of you knows where the ball is going.
Mm-hmm.
As you're dropping back, that's confirmation.
Confirmed. Yes.
And so you then, where you're going. And the last little part of the drop is you're looking at the key defender. And if he's if he's not moving and he's not in your way, then you freeze him by holding him there and throw opposite him. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, if he is moving, you use the routes around the route you want to throw to help move him in that direction and throw around it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see any of that last year. I don't see any of it this year out of Justin Fields. And when you're calling plays for a guy that can't do that, and you're missing what would be first down after first down after first down after first down, and eventually touchdown, you're 3rd and 22. So that, I mean, part of it, I'd say the majority of it is Justin at this point. But, I get it how you have to hold that guy to a higher standard. So, okay, then play someone else.
Do you trust them to play Tyson Bagent? That's the number 2 now.
I don't trust him to play Justin Fields. So, yes, whoever's next, I trust that guy just as much.
Okay. I mean, and
you tell me, when you say, what is Justin Fields giving the Bears right now that can't be replaced?
Yeah, you're right, because he's not running the ball. So he's not giving us that. So because if he did that couldn't be replaced, but he's not giving us that. So he's giving us
sacks on what should be first downs.
He's missing receivers. Now, whose fault is it on? Who do you think the blame goes? Is it just all him for missing receivers, or is it the way his progression's going? Because there's the meme the whole time. I don't know if it was Roshan Johnson who was in the right seam. He was wide open, very similar to the Mr. Trubisky, and then wide end zone looked like the Red Sea, and he still didn't throw it. Where does the blame? Where does the blame fall in that? Is that the way his progressions are going on that play, or is that just him? He should see it. Where does that go? Because we can't continue to have wide open receivers for touchdowns and you miss them.
Well, this goes back to what I was saying initially. If you're not really good at reading coverages, which means when you know where to go with the ball very early.
Mm-hmm.
And when that's covered, you're very good at getting off that guy quickly on to the next and the next and the next. And so, you know, I'm not seeing that. And so when you say who's to blame, Justin Fields is to blame. Period. And if he can't do it, the next guy to blame is the guy that's not replacing him.
Because he's got, well, you know what? Because that's what, who said that to him? Make sure you're an asset to Justin. So he's got to be able to say, hey, Justin, you're missing this guy, or what are you seeing out there? You know, that you're right. That's got to be, you got to say, hey, listen, they're in a cover 2, they're in a cover 3, they're in this, they're in that. Because this picture, it is, look at this. So you got the safety in the middle of the field being occupied by the guy. I don't know if that's Claypool, but he's right in the middle of the field. So that safety's going to him. There's nobody by that running back. There's another DB on the right.
Right. If you were to start this play from the beginning, the guy who's open right away is by coverage is DJ Moore on the left. He runs a simple out route. Done first.
Yes.
Okay. Doesn't even look over there. Now, the guy that's in the middle of the field was open 4 steps ago.
Mm-hmm.
So there's Justin Fields staring at him, which he should have been throwing the ball to him. 4 steps ago, he's right where the guy that circled in yellow, that was where the guy over the middle was 4 steps ago, with nobody there. So this is the play I'm talking about where he gets sacked.
Yes.
So when you say whose fault is that, it's one guy's fault. It's the guy who's not throwing the ball. And I don't like to put it like, he's terrible. He's not. He just needs to learn quickly how to explain to somebody how coverages work. Because until you do that, you can't read them. If you can't explain it, you can't do it.
Right.
And he's showing right now that he can't do it.
So then, and guys, we're joined by former Bears quarterback Eric Kramer every Monday, 10 o'clock, talking Chicago Bears football here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Well, then, is that also on Getsy as well? Getsy has to hold, or Janako, the quarterback coach, they're not hold him to a higher standard. Say, hey, I need you to do this. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So now we need to ask that question. So if I want to, I might get to Hallis Hall on Thursday, and if I can get there Thursday, and those are the coordinator days, I can ask them like, okay, well, what are you guys doing to help Justin with reading coverages? Because there's a lot of plays that he's missing open. Now, I get it. There's going to be plays. You could turn on any quarterback's tape, and you're going to find quarterbacks who miss receivers. I get it. They're human.
I got it.
But man, there's just far.
Game long.
Yeah, there's right. I agree with. And those, and it's like if you could see this guy, like, and I think your point is so valid. Like, you understand, you know what coverage they're running, and you should. Okay, you probably maybe they're trying to disguise it, but all right, they, especially in this area of the field you've studied, 64% of the time they run a cover 3 in the 20 from the 50 to the 20 to 20 or whatever. So they're running a cover 2 or cover 3. Okay, these are my route concepts. I kind of know this guy's going to be open just because of the responsibility of the zone. So it's frustrating to me that he doesn't get that, and why he hasn't gotten it, because it gets smart. He's done well in that Wonderlic or one of the aptitude tests. So that's why I asked you if they're coaching that out of him, because he reminds me of Mitch Trubisky in 19 when you have to win from the pocket. I think by telling him he's got to win from the pocket, they're kind of deer in headlighting him. He's like, I want to run, but no, I got to be in the pocket. I got to win from the pocket. I got to win from the pocket. When you should say, hey, let's have, and secondly, let's get him on the move. Let's get him on the move.
So what you're saying is here's it's not from the pocket. Okay, here's what it is. Can you read coverages? Because if you can, then everything happens for you from the pocket. Okay. And then part of your progression is if one's there, I take it. If one isn't there, I go from 1 to 2 to 3, and 3 might be running. Like, it all happens in a certain rhythm. Now, once we've made the determination that that is not who you are, we now have to adjust as a staff the offense we're running. No longer are we going to ask you to do those things. We're going to be completely 100% get you on the move. Because clearly you can only read one guy if he's open or you run if he's not. Fine. It's one or the other. It's not, we have to squeeze you into this pocket, which you clearly can't do.
Not yet anyway, but to this point, he can't. And for me, I'm like, if it takes him an extra year to develop and get him confidence by rolling him, then roll the damn pocket. You know what? To this point, as I said, he's one of the most exciting players to quarterbacks to have the ball in his hand, to throw it or to run it. Let him give him that option to run it, because if you get him outside, it opens the gaps, as you understand, the gaps they spread, because now everybody's got to go this way. Now might be a guy coming across late, and if not, you just take the freak off. I think they're doing. I don't know if they expected him to have a huge jump, and I did, but maybe the jump that they expected him to have isn't happening. So now you got to resort to plan B. How can you still have him be a huge factor in winning? Because he was a huge factor in almost winning last year. But then again, you tanked. You had no one to throw to, how many drop passes. But now you got to get him to be a huge factor in winning. What can we do? Is running the ball an option to help him more? Not just him, but with Roshan Johnson, with Khalil Herbert, because again, they're not running outside zone, and everyone talks about this outside zone scheme.
Let me ask you a question. Who was the number one team in rushing football last year?
That was us.
We aren't this year.
Ain't that the truth? Yesterday's
the
prices aren't today's prices.
There's the answer to your question right there. If you commit to that, then that opens up your play action game, which is right now currently non-existent also. And so, but I get it. I get the frustration. Anyone who's watching this and is a Bears fan or player is got to be frustrated at what they're seeing. And so it's a little late in the game, unfortunately, to revamp the structure of your offense. It's not too late to call more runs. It's not too late to be successful at running the ball. And it's not too late to start running play action off of that. But it is too late to kind of go, oh, this offense, we made a mistake. By this time on Thursday, we're going to have it all figured out and have a whole new offense. That doesn't work. That's something you do on day one of the offseason, but not now. And so, again, this is as a matter of, Justin, during the season, has to get better at doing something that, to this point, he hasn't done well. He didn't do it well last year. He's not doing it this year. He didn't do it well in year one. And so I don't know what you do. But you're right. Last year was he played well enough for us to almost win. Well, right now, we're not even getting that.
Talk to me about this defense, Eric, because we're getting gashed up the middle. It's frustrating. What can they do? We got Billings. We signed him in the offseason. That's supposed to be his forte. He's a big man in the middle. Eat up 2 blocks. Justin Jones hasn't been as dominant hasn't been as effective as we thought. The rookies are making a play here, making a play there. There aren't any big splash plays from Javon Dexter Sr. or Zach Pickens. What can we do? Can we just continue to bring 4? I mean, no run blitzes and what can we do? Because that sets up everything when they're able to gash you, as you well know, on the run and just take time. That's what they're doing. I tweeted it yesterday. I'm like, they're just wearing this team down. They're going to wear it's the second quarter. They're wearing them down. You're going to see in the late third, early fourth quarter, they're just going to have their way with them, and they're going to get tired of the heat, the humidity. They're not used to it, and they are leaning on our D line.
Isn't it amazing? I mean, after week 1, you basically put on suspension your defensive coordinator, Alan Williams, because after week 1, it was a fiasco defensively. Week 2, did it get any better by replacing Alan Williams? Nope. And So you're right. There's gashes that are not normally, the way tackles should be made is the collision happens. If this is the offensive guy, the collision happens and he goes that way. Collision happens and he's going that way. So it's not very often that it's 2nd and 10.
Not often at all.
2nd and 6 or less.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, if there is a 3rd down, it's 3rd and short. And you're right. There are not enough of the defense is ending up in the offensive backfield within a step or two. Like nobody's getting shoved in the backfield.
Right.
That defensive player is controlling his gap. I'm not
the line of scrimmage isn't reestablished in the backfield, and that's a big problem for us. But here's the other issue though that I ask you then. What do you think Eberflus, because he was calling the plays yesterday, do you think he didn't bring more pressure because we had people who aren't, Eddie Jackson was out, Tyreek Stevenson was hurt, Jaquan Brisker was out. So now you're going to bring pressure and you're going to put people in situations when you got Quindell Johnson as your safety. And do you want to put him in that type of position if you bring people? Does it seem like we're kind of stuck?
Here's my thought is that you coach the team. You don't coach only Eddie Jackson. If he's in the game, we're going to do this. And only so-and-so, if he's in there, then we'll run this defense. No. You coach the defense. And so the next guy in, that's his job to do his job. And so I'm just, I know Matt Eberflus has made where he's gone as a defensive coordinator is worked. But right now, so far, it hasn't, not in Chicago. And unless I'm mistaken, because I'm not really seeing the knockback plays. I'm not seeing receivers getting separated from the ball. We're seeing quarterback sack after sack. How many times did Baker Mayfield get sacked yesterday? Want to know how many? 0. So there's a guy who's resurrected his career.
Yeah.
And so who's to say Justin Fields can't do the same? But look how many teams he's gone to from being the number 1 pick, team after team after team after team. And now after 2 games in Tampa, which is like the 6th team he's been on, now he's looking like the guy, which I believe is great because I was one of the detractors from Baker Mayfield early on. The guy had more commercials than completions. And then, now after stumbling, it's not like every game he's played has been bad, but he hasn't really followed up 5, 6, 7 games of him playing well in a row. Well, now it seems like he's taken some tumbles and he's kind of rising to that fashion. That's what I'd love to see at Justin Fields. I know we're a little bit off track at Matt Eberflus and the defense, but I think defensively, it's a young team right now that needs to start playing older than it is quickly. Because kind of like with the New York Jets, they just lost Aaron Rodgers, and so the defense that is solid has to step up and start making plays. And they are, just not enough. But in terms of the Bears, I don't see them as an elite defense, even approaching elite defense just yet.
That definitely isn't good. And last question, last topic before we let you go. We love having you on every Monday after the game at 10 o'clock Central. Offensive line. How big of an issue is that? And obviously there are plenty of times when Justin had plenty of time, but there are also plenty of times where he was under duress a lot. Is the Braxton Jones experiment over? Is Darnell right? He going through his rookie, the grace period where he's gonna make rookie mistakes. He's gonna get beat because he's just a rookie.
Sure.
You got. What can we do for this offensive line to help it to improve it, and also maybe to run the ball better? Well, first we got to call runs. That's for starters.
Yeah,
but
having a run in the playbook would be helpful, and then calling it over and over and over and over. And I think young offensive lines, like what the Bears have, get better at the more they're on the field. So if you have what are now 3 and 4 play drives turn into 8, 10, 12 play drives, that's how you get better. And you call, you rely on what you're good at, which was running the ball. And then you set yourselves up for play action, which are the bigger chunk type plays. You start pushing the ball down the field. That's when you call screens, not when you can't do something else. Right. So, and so I think that, the offense of line can get better and will, but they just need to be on the field a little longer. And I think Braxton Jones has played so much better after 2 games than he looked last year. And I know Nate Davis has been so far a disappointment, mostly because he's been injured. And
he had that family situation that come to find out it was a long-term sickness of the family, which is why he wasn't at OTAs, which is why, and then allegedly Courtney Cronin from ESPN reported that person passed away, so that's why he didn't even fly down to Tampa. And so I know a lot of media people got to eat crow because they're like this guy, but when they tell you personal, for personal matters, you got to respect that. And I know Bears fans, we get a little in the media too. They get a little, come on, we're paying him $30 million. But when it's a personal thing like that, like you really can't, so, but that's why Nate's been gone. So hopefully he comes back with some motivation, I don't know, because we definitely need him.
But there's that. Then there's arguably the best offensive lineman is Tevin Jenkins, who's been injured. Whitehair has not been 100%. And so
Patrick's been horrible at center.
There's some cohesion there that hasn't had a chance yet to take place, kind of like last year.
Right.
But I also think that over time, this will get better. Like I said, the one glaring crater right now to me is Justin Fields. If things were to be crafted for him where he wouldn't look like he's over his head, then I think he would kind of quickly get better and his confidence would grow. As his confidence grows, so will everyone else's, right? So will the offensive line, so will the receiver. All you got to do is execute the way you're supposed to, and then things start to get better around you.
So when you're saying crafted, now that falls on Getsy. For him to create something, and then the other half, maybe half would be 50-50. The other half, which falls on Justin, now you got to execute.
As I'm thinking right now, why did the Bears go away from being the best running game in football? Because if you've got something like that to hang your hat on, everyone always talks about you got to run the football. Well, here's a team that was, and now they're not. And I don't get it. And it doesn't have to do with bringing in better players. I mean, that should be a plus, but just literally keep doing what you're already good at and get better at a few other things like play action game and having 4 or 5 route concepts that repetitively after doing them so long. Not just Justin, but the entire passing game is getting better. Now you start to move the ball, and though, like I was saying, the longer you stay on the field, the better you get. And that's what I think the Bears need to do at this juncture is go back to relying on what you were already good at. Don't forget what you were good at.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree. I want, and not as many. I don't want, a lot of the reason we were number one was because Justin was breaking 50, 60-yard runs, but it doesn't mean that the other guys weren't working. I think we need that. I still need to see some design quarterback runs, just not as many. Just give me 3 or 4 a game. All right. It still bothers me though, Eric, why they don't to make a statement. All right. To why you don't have an offensive line report as eligible. All right. Put him in motion. All right. People know what's coming. Good. Stop a guard with a head start. Good luck trying a defensive tackle who's coming out of a stance and he's got to deal with a 300-pound plus guy who's in motion already. I mean, these are little things like that, and to me, it's just. And I'm getting my little.
When you want to pave the way on a 3rd and 2 or less, I don't care if it's at the goal line or at the 50-yard line. You put in an offensive guard or a defensive tackle or whoever you want, and that 300-pound guy is going to knock back a 220, 30-pound linebacker 10 out of 10
every
times.
single time with a head start.
And so, not every team, but some over time have done this. And it never fails. Like, it works.
Yeah.
But
it's just mass. 300 pounds versus 250, or off a D lineman, 275, 280. 300 pounds to it. Yeah. It's just mass.
I remember, in the years I was with the Bears, Ron Turner, those first 3 years, he would come in and say, okay, we're going to run the ball no matter what. And those 3 and 4 yard gains in the first quarter are going to turn into 6, 7, 8 yard gains, running the same play, blocked the same way in later stages of the game. And it's true. And so once you start pounding the ball, and outside zone is a great way to do it, because it creates other things. It creates bootlegs, right? It creates a lot of other things.
Misdirection. Yep.
But when you can run power O, you've got to make 8 guys get in that box tightly. And it's going to be the one unblocked guy that makes that play, which means now you got one-on-one on the outside. I don't care what the zone is. It's going to be cover 3, but it's going to basically be man coverage.
Man, yeah.
So, and you want to get your receivers that you just, you got DJ Moore, probably the most unheralded best receiver in the league. Yep. You got Chase Claypool, who's big and fast. You got Mooney, who's fast. You got talented people. You got don't forget Cole Kmet. And that's the way to get these people involved in the game. Be a great running team.
Eric, I could not agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. Run it. Force them to adjust and wait for them to adjust. Because when they do, you have your adjustment ready, and bingo. Now the Cole Kmets and the Tunyons got the deep middle, got the middle of the field. Now the DJ Moore's got the post, and Darnell Mooney's got the corners, and it's sometimes, and I've said this before recently, I think it was even last week. Sometimes offensive coordinators want to be the smartest guy in the room, and they oftentimes outsmart themselves. And it seems that, to me, at this point, that's exactly what Luke Getsy is doing, is trying to come up with some elaborate plan, elaborate this, elaborate that. How about you go punch him on the Hubbard in the mouth? Just go punch him in the mouth and say, deal with it.
Yeah.
All right. And when you do, now we're hitting you. Now we're going to hit you over the top. Oh, is that frustrating when you get guys who try and reinvent the wheel?
I agree with you. Keep it simple. And like the worst thing for a defense is when they know you're going to run it, you know you're going to run it, and you run it successfully,
and they can't stop it.
So and then you like as we've been talking about, now you've got the added runner of Justin Fields, who pulls the ball out and doesn't need much blocking. And so, I agree with you. I mean, that's, to me, this whole thing could be opened up with a couple simple runs, 2 or 3 simple pass plays. Let's go to work.
Last question before we let you go, Eric. Well, one of my guys, and I like this too, but give me your thoughts. Do you think Justin Fields should be under center more for the play action, for other stuff, and also that to help his drop back? Because now you can't really lollygag dropping back if you're under center.
Well, so the answer is yes, it could. I'm not a big believer in shotgun to begin with, unless there's a reason for it. I think if you watch most quarterbacks that are in shotgun, they're lazy with their drops. And and so there is no sense of urgency with Justin. I'm not sure it would be coached in him to be more urgent in his drop back. I just know that that's what should happen. Like there's 3, 5, and 7-step drops. Well, within all of those, there are different drop backs. There are different types of 3-step drops and 5-step drops and 7-step drops. Those aren't being coached, I guarantee it, because I don't see it. And so if it was, then yes, my answer would be get him under center, because personally, I think you don't know what's coming. I think it inhibits you in shotgun a little bit. Now, I know you have the added dimension of what Justin brings as a runner, but that's just my opinion. I under center would be a better way to go. Again, this is just my opinion.
I agree. Eric, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it. We will holler at you next week, my man. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good week.
All righty. Guys, that's Eric Kramer, former Chicago Bears quarterback. Man, love having him on. And Justin, there's a lot of blame to go around. And it looks like it's he says most of it goes on Justin. I say most of it goes on Getsy. You know, players will do what you coach them to do. And there's certain things that he's not being coached to do. There's certain things he's not being forced to do. And the drop back is one of them. All right. Play calling is another issue, but that's not in his job title. And nor is it at his experience level yet. I don't know. Let's take a quick break. All right, let's take a quick break. And on the other side of the break, we're going to wrap it up. We'll wrap it up. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
To run for 17. Back he goes. Here comes Chubb. There goes the ball. Touchdown! Jones will walk at the left tackle. Time for Fields. Now we will accelerate to get the first down and break tackles, and he's off to the races. And we got a terrific block.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. Learning to dig deep and push through adversity together. Defending our nation and its people. It is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis, always faithful, always Marine, marking a path for the next generation.
Yeah, I mean, it's great when it works, right? It's great when it works, and when it doesn't, everybody's going to criticize, So, it is what it is. We're going to look at it. We will look at it, back there in that part of the field, and we'll see where it is. Okay.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning at Sports Zone Chicago. We just got done with Eric Kramer, and Eric said a lot. There's still so much to go on. So much that needs to happen with this team. I think accountability is one of them. Listen to Coach Flus. All right, listen to Coach Flus. An opening of the...
Okay. So disappointing loss. I thought the guys battled to the end. Gave ourselves a chance to win it at the end. And then, we didn't... take care of the football at the end of it. But, we had a chance to do that. But overall, I thought the offense came out, in that first drive, did a nice job working down the field. We got some good shots to DJ. I thought that was excellent. Defensively, I thought the guys battled. We had a couple opportunities early. Brisker had a couple opportunities to get some takeaways. And one was he stripped the one. Just, forward progress was down. That's why we didn't throw the challenge flag. But again, another one intercepted. Could have intercepted that. We just got to look those in. So, so that was kind of the first half. I thought we did a good job in the red zone.
It's always good. How come you don't say a little too positive at times? And believe me, I love being positive. All right, but also a realist too. And sometimes you need tough love. All right, sometimes you need tough love. And I think he said, or he could have said, you know what, that was a poor performance, because a lot of it was. We did some good things, but there's a lot we got to work on. And I'll tell you what, we're going to clean up a lot of this stuff, because that's not who we are. I'm going to make sure that we don't play like that again. I'm going to make sure we don't shoot ourselves in the foot. All these things. I'm going to make sure of this. Okay. And I'm not saying you throw your players under the bus. I mean, if you want to, fine. If that's but it can't always be, oh, he should have had it. No, he's got to make that play. All right. There's got to be, and it's also not what you say, it's how you say it. Oh, he could have had that pick. No, you tell us, and by telling the camera and telling the media, you're telling Jaquan Brisker, no, you know what? He's got to make that play. He's got to, and stop. Not like, he'll make it next time. He's a warrior. He's a this. He can practice hard. No, you know what? We need that play, because that play could change the course of the game. Period. Sometimes you need to let them know. And I'm sure he understands how important that could have been, but you can't, it needs to be expressed to him in no uncertain terms. Say, hey, I love you, but you can't do that again. You can't drop this shit. You can't. Second, third play of the game, pick six. Do you realize how the momentum that we get? We go down, and what if we stop them again, and then we go down, we score again like we did on our first drive? So if that pick six happens, we stop, because it's their first drive. That pick six happens. They get the ball back. We hold them. We get the ball back for our first drive. We go down and score. We're up 14-0. That's a whole different ball game. Did you visualize this? Did you know what I mean? Like, these things, great teams don't allow that to happen. And right now you're learning how to be a great team. And the thing you have to say is that's not acceptable. You need to, when we have the opportunities, because you get a finite amount of opportunities in a game, do not waste them. Do not waste the opportunities that you had. You had a chance for a pick six to turn this game around, have it go a completely different direction, and you didn't do it. Next time you get the opportunity, it has to be done. I don't know. I just don't like his post-game opens. I don't like his, if it works, we're a genius. No, yeah. He's doing that because he doesn't want to throw Getsy under the bus. Because if he actually came out and said, I didn't like that play, you could say, hey, you know what? It was a tough play, but we're going to look at it. We're going to talk about plays down with our back in the end zone. That'll let you know that he didn't like it. There's a way to say things. He talks coach talk. Give us more coach talk and tell us that you're going to handle this shit. You didn't like the way that the plays that were called at certain times. And put Justin out there. Hey, you know what? Justin's got to be better. Justin's got to see people. Justin's got to do. So you know what? We're going to go back and we're going to make sure that open receivers, Justin doesn't miss very many more. Not fall, but take the credit. You're the leader of the squad. Take the credit. Take the blame. Take the credit for the poor play and say, or blame for the poor play and say, hey, we're going to be better and make it better. And make it better. But here's my question. Justin, you played like shit. There are certain things you need to know. Why are we not? Or are they? Why are we not staying after practice? Why are we not? I mean, these guys, did you see the jumps that some of these guys had? The jumps that some of the defensive ends had? My goodness. They're up out of their stance as the ball is being snapped. So there's something telling. Are we working on that? Justin, are you working on that? Are you working with your offensive line? These are all little things that matter. Bellissimo, what is up, baby? How you doing? The Tim Jennings breakdown is worth a watch. I will check it out. You know, Bellissimo, we just had Eric Kramer on, and one of the things I said was, where's the wide zone? Where's the outside zone that we heard about, this outside zone scheme? Why aren't we running outside zone? Why are we not running outside zone? Why are we not stretching the defense, making them run left and right and left and right? Hey, it was hot for them too. It was hot and humid for them as well. Get those defensive linemen moving. Get those linebackers moving. Get those suckers moving. But we're not doing it. We're not doing it. Cornelius Squalls, yeah, simple. We're not good enough and we got to get better. But put it on you as the head coach. I'll make sure that we come out more prepared and we have a better performance next week. Put that on you as the head coach. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Man, 3 hours has come, or 2 hours, excuse me, it's come and gone. I want to thank our guest, Eric Kramer, for coming on every Monday after the game and breaking it down. And there's plenty of blame to go around. Okay? Luke Getsy. Talk to him. He's got to understand coverages. He's got to understand when certain coverages are there, what the most likely target will be, who your first read is going to be, who's probably going to be open. He's got to understand that. And it's not like Justin is dumb. Justin isn't. So there's a disconnect between Getsy and Fields. It's got to be figured out, and it's got to be figured out fast. I will check out the Tim Jennings breakdown, Brother Simo. Well, man, we got to call it a day. Make sure 12:15, Second City Sports, the Keenan McGee and Sidney Brown are going to join us. Are going to join you and talk some more, obviously, Bears, Sox, Cubs, maybe the Sky. And then tonight, 6 o'clock, What's Up, Cuz, Jason Palmer and Lance Irvin. They will have another 2 hours of great sports talk. So for everybody here at Sports Zone Chicago, guys, that's Elliot Baez, our executive producer, Clarence Council III, our social media guy, and my co-host at Absentia Maya Kai. Guys, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. I'm going to have this replayed. This will be replayed later today at 4 o'clock, leading right up into What's Up, Cuz. And then Second City Sports will be played after at 8 o'clock. So you have a full day of sports talk. So for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, guys, have a wonderful day. It's a nice little cool day. Have a beautiful day. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. I will see you on Wednesday. Back, same bat time, same bat channel, 9 a.m. to 11 Central Time. Your boy, the SuperBack, I am out.